Namaste students, welcome back to online classes. In the previous class we were discussing about Newton's second law extended to a system of particles, and also we have seen the law of conservation of linear momentum in case of a system of n particles. So in this class we discuss about the torque acting on a body, what is the moment of force, which is called torque, and the angular momentum of a body describing the rotational motion, or angular momentum of a particle which is describing the rotational motion. So before discussing these things, and also we derive the expression for, relationship between the angular momentum and the torque. So before discussing these things, we discuss what is the expression for the position vector of center of mass of a rigid body. See, position vector of center of mass of a system of particles is given by vector r, which is equal to the summation of all mi ra. I is varying from 1 to n divided by m, total mass of the system of particles. But in case of rigid body, so rigid body is a system of a continuous object, right? So rigid body is a system of continuous object where the particles are closely held. So in that case, so this summation becomes integration while writing the position vector of center of mass of that rigid body. Instead of summation, we'll write the integration. Okay, so because the rigid body is a system of a continuous object, continuous object, so where the particles are very closely held. Okay, so therefore the position vector, so position vector of center of mass of the rigid body is given by vector r, which is equal to integral of ri dm divided by capital M. Okay, so it's a small mass. Ri is the position vector of that small mass. So therefore, summation becomes integration, summation of all mi ra. Instead of that, we will write integral of dm ra divided by the total mass. Mass of, total mass means the mass of the rigid body. That is the position vector of center of mass of a rigid body. Okay, so next we discuss about the equations for uniformly accelerated rotational motion. So in the previous chapters you have studied the kinematic equations for uniformly accelerated linear motion. Okay, so here we will write what are the equations for uniformly accelerated rotational motion. Okay, equations for uniformly accelerated rotational motion. Okay, so the equations for uniformly accelerated rotational motion. Okay, so we have, in case of linear motion, the kinematic equations are V is equal to V naught plus Et. So second one is x, which is equal to V naught t plus half at square. The third one is v square is equal to v naught square plus 2ax. So here in the first equation, velocity of the particle at time t, velocity of a particle which is uniformly accelerated, right? So velocity of the particle at a time t is given by v, which is equal to v naught plus at, where v naught is its initial velocity, is acceleration. Displacement at any instant of time is given by x, which is equal to v naught t plus half at square, and the relationship between velocity, the final velocity, means the velocity of the particle at time t, and the displacement is given by v square is equal to v naught square plus 2ax. In case of rotational motion, we have the angular velocity, angular displacement, and angular acceleration instead of linear displacement, linear velocity, and linear acceleration, right? So here x is the displacement, simply it is displacement, it is actually the linear displacement. Here velocity means it's a linear velocity, a is linear acceleration. So here in case of rotational motion, instead of linear, you have to term in terms of angular displacement, angular velocity, and angular acceleration. So therefore the first equation, so we have angular velocity omega, which is equal to omega naught plus alpha t, where omega is the angular velocity of the rotating body at time t, omega naught is initial angular velocity, and time t is equal to 0, right? And alpha is angular acceleration. Okay, so second equation becomes, so instead of linear displacement, we have angular displacement theta, which is equal to omega naught t plus half of alpha t square. Okay, omega naught is the initial angular velocity, and time t is equal to 0 seconds. Theta is angular displacement, alpha is angular acceleration, and third equation is omega square, which is equal to omega naught square plus 2 alpha x. Okay, right. So these are the equations for uniformly accelerated rotational motion. Okay, so just compare. So instead of linear velocity, displacement, and acceleration, you have all angular velocity, angular displacement, and angular acceleration. Okay, instead of v we have omega, instead of a we have alpha, instead of x we have theta. So what is the relationship between angular velocity and linear velocity? That we have derived in the circular motion chapter, right? So in that particular topic, we derived that expression, right? V is equal to, so what is the relationship between the linear velocity and angular velocity? V is equal to r omega. Okay, so consider a body which is describing the rotational motion with angular velocity omega about this particular axis. So I consider two particles, so one is here, the other one is here. So they, as the object, the rigid body rotates about this particular axis, all the particles present in this particular body also move in circular paths. They form circles, concentric circles, right, about an axis which is called axis of rotation, where the particles of the body remain at rest, right? So line of particles which is at rest during the rotational motion of the body or object is called the axis of rotation, where the particles of that particular axis are at rest, are not moving, are fixed. So this particle is describing a smaller circle, means a circle of smaller radius. So this particle is describing the larger circle, means a circle of larger radius, right? So what about the angular velocity of these two particles? Angular velocity of these two particles are same, that is omega, it doesn't change. For all the particles, angular velocity is the same, but linear velocities are different. Okay, so linear velocity of this particle, and what about the linear velocity of this particle? Say this is v, velocity of this particle, is a v, and velocity of this particle is a v dash, and v dash is greater than v because see in this particular equation omega is fixed for both the particles but r is different. Okay, so larger the radius, greater will be the linear velocity of the particle describing the rotational motion, right? So larger the radius, greater will be the linear velocity of the particle. So velocity of this particle which is farther from this particle, okay, with respect to axis of rotation, you are measuring the distance with respect to the axis of rotation, okay, r you are measuring from the axis of rotation to the particle. It's the distance of the particle from the axis of rotation. So r is more for this particular particle compared to this, therefore velocity of this particle which is situated away from this particle which is at a greater distance from the axis of rotation, so the velocity of that particle is more. Okay, so v is equal to r into omega. Okay, so that is an important expression, that is a relationship between the linear velocity and the angular velocity. Okay, so linear velocity v is it is displacement by time dx by dt, angular velocity omega is d theta by dt, that is limit of delta theta by delta t as delta t is tending to 0, right? This is the limit of delta theta by delta t as delta t is tending to 0. So that is the angular velocity of the particle, right? Okay, so next we discuss the torque or the moment of force. Torque or moment of force. Okay, so the torque is the turning effect of force. Okay, so torque is the turning effect of force. Okay, so torque is something which produces a rotational effect. Okay, so torque is the turning effect of force, or it is something which produces the rotational effect, which is called the moment of force. So how do you calculate the torque acting on the body? Okay, due to the torque, body gets rotated. Torque produces the rotational effect. So how do you calculate the torque? Say torque, tau is the symbol, okay, tau, which is equal to the force acting on the body or the particle into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. So force into the perpendicular distance. This is force into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. So that is how we measure the torque. Okay, it is a force acting on the body into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. So the perpendicular distance is called moment arm or lever arm. The perpendicular distance is called lever arm or moment arm, or simply it is called moment. Okay, the perpendicular distance is called lever arm or moment arm, or simply it is called moment. Okay, all right. So consider a lever or a metal scale. Okay, it's a lever which is fixed at one end. Say at this end it is fixed. Now if I apply a force at the other end like this, now it produces the rotational effect. So this point is fixed, the other end of the lever or metal scale, it is fixed. Now this is fixed. If you apply the force at the other end, now this lever or metal scale gets rotated. So it produces the force, produces the turning effect, right? So that force produces the turning effect. Okay, so now how to measure the torque acting on that particular body? So how to measure the torque? It is the force, magnitude of the force multiplied by the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the axis of rotation. Say the moment vector, I'll say this is r, this is r, that is here the length of the lever itself, right? That is length of this end where the force is acting from the other end, from the axis of rotation. Okay, so what is the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force? This is line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. This is axis of rotation. This is the axis of rotation, right? About this particular axis, now this lever is made to rotate, right, about this particular axis. So therefore, what is the perpendicular distance? The perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation to the force. Okay, so therefore this is the perpendicular distance, right? So this is the perpendicular distance now. Okay, right? This is axis of rotation. About that particular axis of rotation, this particular object or lever is describing the circular motion. What is the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation? Perpendicular distance of the force from the axis of rotation. Say this is the perpendicular distance or moment arm, right? Right? I'll write simply the perpendicular distance. The perpendicular distance. R is not perpendicular distance. This is not perpendicular distance. Axis of rotation is like this. It is into the plane of board, right? Axis of rotation is into the plane of board about which this particular object is made to rotate. Okay, so perpendicular distance is this one. So what is expression for the perpendicular distance? say this angle is theta. If this angle is theta, what is sine theta? From the figure, sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. So perpendicular distance divided by r. So therefore perpendicular distance is equal to r sine theta. So therefore perpendicular distance is r sine theta. So therefore the torque or moment of force acting on the body is equal to F, the magnitude of force, into the perpendicular distance is r sine theta. This is F r sine theta or r F sine theta. So this is the expression for tau. Okay, the moment of force or the torque acting on the body. Okay, if theta is equal to 90 degree, then the torque is maximum. Okay, if theta is equal to 90 degree, so then that particular lever is like this. This is the axis of rotation into the plane of board. So this is the force applied, F. So then here theta is equal to 90 degree, perpendicular distance is r only. So therefore tau becomes, it is maximum now. Okay, since theta is equal to 90 degree, so therefore it is RF sine 90 degree, that is equal to RF. Okay, so force, magnitude of force and perpendicular distance between, or perpendicular distance of the force from the line of action, I mean perpendicular distance of line of action of force from the axis of rotation. So therefore maximum value of torque, it is R into F. Okay, in general it is RF sine theta for any value of theta. So tau is 0 if the force acting on the body is 0, or if R is 0, there is no perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. Means if a force is acting, force is along the line of action of force is along the axis of rotation, then R is 0. If F is 0, there is no applied force, then also tau is 0, or theta, if theta is 0, okay, so then tau is 0. Okay, so that is about the torque acting on the body. So torque depends on therefore the magnitude of force and the displacement of the force from the axis of rotation. Okay, right. So torque is a vector quantity, it is not a scalar. So in general here, so tau, vector tau is equal to R cross F. It is a cross product of R and F. Okay, theta is the angle between R and F. Okay, so R is the moment vector whose direction is like this. Okay, so displace that particular vector here. So R, so force is here, displace this particular force. Angle between R and F here 180 minus theta. Okay, since this is theta, this is 180 minus theta. Sine theta and sine 180 minus theta is same. Sine 180 minus theta is sine theta only. Okay, angle between R and F, or displace R from here to here. Okay, so angle between R and F the moment vector and the force acting, so that is theta. Okay, so what is the direction of torque? Use the cross product rule. It is a right hand rule to find out the direction of torque. You know, cross product, say cross product of A and B. We have two vectors A and B. So cross product is vector C. Direction of C is perpendicular to the plane containing vector A and vector B. Okay, perpendicular to the plane containing, say here A vector A and vector B are in the plane of board. So therefore vector C is perpendicular to the board. So to find out the direction of C, vector C, whether it is inwards or outward, so you have to use a right hand rule. So angle is from R to F, angle is from R to F, see here angle is from R to F, so therefore use the right hand rule. So direction of torque is into the plane of board. So we also can use the right hand screw rule. Okay, right, when the screw is fixed you are rotating like this. Okay, so screw is moving into the plane of board now. Okay, when the screw is fixed you are rotating like this. So a screw is moving into the plane of board. So R cross F, curl the four fingers along the direction of angle like this. Angle is from R to F. Then thumb indicates the direction of vector product, cross product. R cross, here R cross F. Thumb is into the plane of board. That is the direction of torque acting on the body. Right, so that is about the torque. So next we discuss about the angular momentum. See, it is easy to move the door at the edge, right? See, I'm talking about torque now. It is easy to move the door at the edge because the moment arm or moment, simply moment, the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation, say this is the door, this is the door. Okay, so it is easy to move the door from the edge, from here, compared to other position, because here the perpendicular distance of the force from the axis of rotation is more. Okay, so therefore tau is more if R is more or F is more. For a lesser value of F, if you want to get more torque for a lesser value of the force applied, so you have to increase the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the axis of rotation. Thereby a greater value of torque can be obtained. Okay, right, if R is more, small force is enough to produce the rotational effect or torque. Okay, so next we move on to the angular momentum. See, torque is called moment of force. Angular momentum is called the moment of linear momentum. So, or simply moment of momentum. Okay, so moment is, as I told, moment is perpendicular distance. So moment of linear momentum or moment of momentum is called the angular momentum. Okay, so when the particle is describing the rotational motion, so it has the angular momentum. Okay, so we have studied the linear momentum in case of linear motion, right? A mass moving in a straight line has a linear momentum. right? So it is linear momentum. What is linear momentum? It is the capacity of the body to impart its motion. It's a linear motion, right? It is a measure of the capacity of the body or the mass to impart its motion to the other object. Similarly, when a mass rotates about an axis, the momentum associated with the rotational motion of the body is called the angular momentum. Okay, so when a mass rotates about an axis, the momentum associated with the rotational motion of the body is called the angular momentum. Okay, right. So say if a body is or the particle is moving with certain velocity, linear velocity. To change the linear velocity or to change the linear momentum, we have to apply force. So similarly, in case of a body which is describing rotational motion, to change its angular velocity or to change its angular momentum, thereby to change its angular momentum, a torque is needed. Okay, right? Whatever the role the force plays in case of linear motion, the same role is played by the torque in case of rotational motion. So to change the linear velocity and thereby the linear momentum in case of linear motion, a force is needed. Similarly, in case of rotational motion, to change the angular momentum and thereby to change the angular velocity and thereby to change angular momentum, we need a torque. Okay, right. So what is the how to find out, how to calculate, how to measure the angular momentum of a rotating body? Okay, so consider the same diagram here. So instead of F, say this the lever or this metallic scale is describing the rotational motion about the axis. Okay, so now I consider a particle here at the other extreme, I mean at the other end, other extreme point, right? This is other extreme point. This is a particle at the other end of this particular lever or metal scale. So what is the direction of if the lever is moving like this, its linear direction of linear velocity and momentum is in this particular direction, right? This is the line of action of linear momentum. P is equal to m into v, where v is the velocity of this particular particle, linear velocity of this particular particle, right? At this position, what is the linear velocity? Okay, so this is the direction of linear velocity as well as a linear momentum. Okay, right. So now, how to calculate the angular momentum mathematically? So how to calculate the angular momentum of the particle? So angular momentum is L, which is equal to the linear momentum of the particle into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the linear momentum from the axis of rotation. Okay, so linear momentum into the perpendicular distance, angular momentum L, this linear momentum of the particle into the perpendicular distance of the line of action of linear momentum from the axis of rotation, that is from here to here. This is a perpendicular distance. Okay, so therefore L is equal to P into the perpendicular distance. So how to find out the perpendicular distance? Okay, so here say this is a rod, lever. So here I am taking a particle at this end. Linear momentum P is equal to m into v. See, r is the moment vector. This is the axis of rotation, right? So perpendicular distance of P from the axis of rotation, perpendicular distance of line of action of linear momentum from the axis of rotation is this one, perpendicular distance. If this is theta, so sine theta is equal to, so perpendicular distance divided by r. So therefore perpendicular distance is equal to r sine theta. So therefore, so perpendicular distance is r sine theta. So here I can write this is equal to, therefore L is equal to P into r sine theta. So but the linear momentum P is equal to mass of this particle times its velocity. Okay, mass of this particle, let it be m. So mass times velocity mv into r sine theta. So therefore L is equal to mvr sine theta. Okay, so if theta is equal to 90 degree, angle between linear momentum and r, the moment vector, so theta is equal to 90 degree, then this will be the case. So here this is P and this is the line of action. So r, vector r is this one. This itself is the perpendicular distance. So therefore here r is the perpendicular distance. If theta is equal to 90 degree, so then L is equal to mvr sine 90 degree, and that is equal to sine 90 is 1, it is mvr. Okay, so similar to the torque, angular momentum is also a vector quantity. So angular momentum is L, which is equal to r cross P. Okay, so where theta is the angle between r and P. R is the moment vector and P is the linear momentum. So therefore angle between r and P is theta. Theta is the angle between r and P. So angular momentum of the particle is given by r cross P. Okay, see the moment of momentum, moment is perpendicular distance, moment of linear momentum is called the angular momentum. So direction of angular momentum is given by right hand rule or right hand screw rule. Angle is from r to P. Okay, displace this P from here to here, r is from here to here. Angle between those two is now 180 minus theta. Here sine 180 minus theta is sine theta only. So r cross P, this r cross P angle is from r to P. The direction of angular momentum is perpendicular to the plane containing r and P, and it is into the plane of board, right hand rule. It is into the plane of board or the screw rule. Okay, so that is about the angular momentum of the particle. Okay, so in the next class, we derive the relationship between the angular momentum and the torque. That is one important derivation. Okay, so that we derive in the next class. Okay, so this you have to remember. So tau is equal to r cross f, and L is equal, vector L is equal to r cross P. Thank you.